Hello, it's Bob from Up Trail 71, and for this live stream, I have a special guest, Bryan from Adventure Archives, and welcome
Hi,
to the
everyone.
show.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's excellent to have you on this show. So, how many years ago did you guys start Adventure Archives? Do you know
Uh,
approximately?
I've lost track of time.
Hmm,
I think I want to say it's been okay. So when we first officially started filming, I think it was 6 years, and when we actually posted our first video, it was five. It's been 5 years ago because we
okay,
kind of had this plan. We had this planned out. So we filmed like I think four episodes like just to have them in
okay,
the library, and then we
right.
edited them and released them like the following year.
And who came up with the name Adventure Archives?
I think at this point, none of us really know who originally came up with it, but I can tell you where the idea for it came from.
Yeah.
Basically, there was this video game that we played
Oh,
called Final Fantasy. Yeah, video game, of course.
yes.
It's called Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and that game, when we played it, when we were younger, we played it, and it really evoked that feeling of adventure for us. The going from a journey from one place to another, and so we just kind of followed that whole alliterative like assonance type thing of using like the same letter at the beginning, and we came up with Adventure Archives.
Okay. Yeah, and my channel name, Up Trail 71, it's just one of those old school names. And that, and it was Up Trail, that's what I originally wanted.
Uh-huh.
And somebody actually had that name, believe it or not. So
Really?
then I added the 71 to it. So it's been Up Trail 71 since.
Back when we first knew each other, got to know each other, I didn't know it. It took me the longest time to realize that Up Trail was supposed to be like UP as an Upper Peninsula.
Yes. Upper Peninsula Trail for hiking.
Yeah.
71 was my birth year. So.
Yeah.
And we have one comment here. Hello, friends, old and new, from Adventures in the Heartland.
Hi, Adventures in the Heartland. Welcome.
And we first met at Pictured Rocks. Remember, we planned that trip for a while.
Yes, that's correct.
It was a beautiful fall trip that it was ended up being.
We got so lucky with the weather because I
Oh,
remember looking at the weather the following day after we had left, and the temperature had dropped to like the
yes.
40s or something. But yeah, that was our first, at least, I mean, our meaning Adventure Archives, that was our first official backpacking trip to Pictured Rocks.
Yes.
Um, and we had been there previously, like with our family and stuff, but never really
Mm-hmm.
extensively hiked it. And being able to experience it on a backpacking trip was just unbelievable. And I know Robbie has said this, and I've probably said this, but it's one of my most favorite locations ever.
It is.
Yeah.
It is beautiful there, right? You
Yeah.
guys stayed at a campsite, Cove's Group, I think it was, on the first night,
Yeah.
and then we met you at the Mosquito campsite for a second night.
Right. And I
And
mean, obviously we have everything documented in video, but I still remember very vividly. We had no idea who we were looking for, like what we were supposed to be looking for. And so
right,
we were just wandering in the dark, calling out your name.
yeah. And I had the lights on my hammock
Yeah.
tarp. And Robbie's like, Christmas lights.
I mean, and
uh,
that was a good way to like, I mean, that's a perfect way to like find someone, is just look for the Christmas lights.
right.
Yeah.
Read some of the comments here from Adventure Heartland. We live in the Heartland and we take a lot of adventures. Been watching both of you for a very long time. Now, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. It's always good to get feedback from and hear from people, longtime fans and viewers.
And I know at Pictured Rocks, you came in later. It was dark. And we were like, oh, maybe they're not going to make it
Oh yeah,
to
yeah.
that time. We were getting tired. We were almost getting ready for bed. Another half hour, we probably would have been sleeping.
that
But
was still in our phase where we spent way too much time filming things, and we were really
right.
bad at managing our time.
We knew you would come along sooner or later
Yeah, yeah,
because I watched many of your previous videos. So I told my wife, oh, I bet you this will come through. But I didn't know if I'd find you or not.
yeah.
That
It
was
it we've gotten better at the whole, uh, managing our time while filming, but it's still difficult in the fall and the winter, especially once the time changes. And
right.
it starts getting dark at like 5 or 6, you just suddenly find yourself in the dark.
Right. And your food. I, I always like to watching. I think that's one of my favorite parts of your videos. Is okay, what kind of food are they gonna have next?
Yeah. We've always tried to be a little bit creative with our foods because we figured that would be something people would enjoy. Obviously, there's
Yes.
been times where we've eaten like dehydrated meals just because it's
Right.
sorry, my alarm's
Yeah, like I do most of the time. Too convenient. You just go to the store, buy it, and you're done.
yeah. um but at the same time, I think it's just when you've got 4 people, it's a bit more it's a bit more practical and rewarding to be able to cook something
Right.
for kind of like family style, I guess you could call it, rather than if you were solo or with just one other person.
Right. I seen you had Nicole on a couple nights ago for your stream. I caught the replay
Yeah,
of it,
yeah.
and
um,
then she, from what I remember you saying or her saying one time, she's actually a really good cook. But she does
mhm.
some good cooking there.
Yeah, she does. And on the stream, she did say how she she's less she cares less about the weight that she carries, so
Right.
she's okay with like carrying what she needs to have like that good meal. Because I remember I would just look at her pack and I'd be like, that thing cannot be light.
Oh gosh. Right. I, I
Yeah.
I got into the ultralight phase for a little while, but
Mm.
now we went back to having more luxury items, more food stuff, and make it more
Yeah.
fun. I mean, if we're gonna go a 20-mile day or something, yeah, you want to go lighter, but
Hmm. Yeah, ultralight is definitely something we haven't really like jumped into, and
no,
I don't think we'll ever really fully jump into it just because of, I mean, we're
Cam-
carrying cameras, right?
camera,
So
yes.
it or by it's just already not ultralight. But we have uh, been kind of slowly upgrading some equipment just to shed like a pound here, a pound there. In fact, we went to REI the other day to kind of like shop around for some new gear, mainly um, things that would be lighter and better to use in the summer.
Right.
Because for me, I've literally been using winter gear in the summer because it's all I had.
Right. And you still using a hammock?
Yeah, I think more and more now I've been leaning towards using my hammock. I think when I first
Hmm.
got it and for like my first few trips, I was really nervous about using it just because it was something new to me, and I didn't
Right.
really know how to set it up properly. I didn't know what kind of gear I needed to really make the hammock experience, work for me.
Right.
Like I remember the first time I took it out, I took it to Red River Gorge the first time, and the
Hmm.
weather was great. It didn't get below like 60 at night, so I didn't have an underquilt, and I thought, man, this is great. Then
Right.
I took it to Yosemite, and I don't think I set my underquilt up right, and I was just like so cold.
You feel all the cold spots. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, there's still a lot more I need to learn about
Yes,
this.
it's a
And
learning curve. Right.
yeah, and then there was
Hike.
the whole incident with Wayne where my rain fly just flooded over me.
Oh
So,
gosh.
so for the
Right.
longest time, I was like, I don't know, maybe I just don't have what it takes to hammock camp. But lately, I've just been like, I
Yeah.
feel more confident using it, and I really enjoy using it.
And we actually bought a tent,
Hmm.
believe it or not, just for a little testing for this year.
Yeah.
For our future long hike, we're gonna do. We're planning on doing the Appalachian Trail,
Hmm.
but and that won't be for maybe about 6 years from now. But so we're
Not the
gonna
entire Appalachian Trail, right?
the entire right.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Wow.
yeah, 2,190 miles.
Oh man, that's
But
gonna be intense.
we will end up using a tent for that.
Yeah, I think
So
just practicality wise, uh,
it'd be easier for that
yeah,
hike.
yeah.
Yeah. We have another question here. Hike with Mike. Hey folks, Adventure Archives is awesome, great amongst them. And the narration, yes, your narration is like top notch, the
Thanks.
best out
That
there.
a lot of credit goes to Andrew because he's the one who writes that. But yeah, I think I don't really know what inspired us to do the narration. I think it was just kind of like originally started as a way for us to try and help evoke our thoughts and feelings that we feel on a backpacking trip, just because sometimes it's difficult to portray that through video. And then I think it has kind of
Right.
become something that we're known for because I really don't see too many other channels who do that,
No,
right?
not really.
Yeah.
And the music, and all the music is your own.
Yeah,
That
that's right.
that really adds a lot to the videos.
Thank
That's
you, thank you. Yeah.
that's why it's your quality is so much more than what other channels are.
Yeah, the
And
music was also something that kind of started. I think when we first started doing the music and the decision to write our own music, it started with oh, this will be fun to come up with music,
right,
and not only that, not having to worry about I don't know, like buying music or things like that to use. But then we didn't realize just how much of a challenge it could be to also have to come up with new music.
yeah,
But
right.
in the end, I think we all enjoy the process of writing the music, and it's
No,
very rewarding.
is most of the music all new stuff for the videos, or do you reuse some of it?
95% in full episodes. 95% of it, I would say, is completely new.
Oh
Um,
wow.
in this, in some of the like more recent episodes, we've started reusing some of the older ones because we feel
Hmm.
like um, it helps the editing process to have a song
Right.
ready to go, and also we have this huge library of music. We should take advantage of it, and um, we noticed that a lot of people like to rehear certain songs. So
Adventures of Heartland. They're looking at hiking more in Michigan next year, and they plan to go Maine as well. Yeah, I was out in Maine back when I graduated high school back in 1990. It's the only time I've been out there. We
really,
went through the White Mountains, and it's a beautiful area. I'd love to go back. Well, of course, I
well,
will
you'll
eventually.
be going back, yeah, once you
Right.
take that AT. Yeah, and for Michigan, I mean, obviously you can't get anyone better than Bob to tell you about where to go in Michigan. So
Right. You two guys had that interesting trip in Manistee River Trail. I don't know if it,
yeah.
some of the viewers may not have watched that video, but you guys lost your camera gear, or some of
Yeah,
it.
we lost a drone and some lenses, and I think our camera we managed to save, but it was definitely I won't say traumatic, but it was a um it affected me
Right.
when it comes to canoeing.
Right. You guys hiked from the Manistee River Trail up
Hmm.
to the northern part, and then you took your canoes down, which I thought was
Hmm.
really neat. Just unfortunate
Yeah.
you had to hit that branch or tree or whatever it was and flip over.
Yeah, like I was the one who planned that trip, and I was really excited because it
Right.
was this hiking, part canoeing. But we were just unlucky because so we've canoed in streams like we did Mammoth, but because of the storms that we had the first day,
Right.
the river was particularly fast, and a multitude of other things that happened. If you had watched if people watch the episode, they know.
Right.
It just like problems kept happening one after another, and then it all culminated in the canoe flipping. Um, and
Yeah.
on the one hand, it makes it for a very interesting video, and it helps show,
Yeah.
like not all it's not always sunshine when you're well, it's never sunshine when you're hiking with us. It's always rain.
Right.
Yeah. But at the same time, having that trip go smoothly would have been really great too.
Right. That would have been a perfect trip to have a perfect weather for. Hey,
Yeah.
Michael Peterson backpacking. Hey, Bryan, seems like you guys have been everywhere. That's kind of true. Every new location I look into, it seems like you three have already been there and already made YouTube videos on it. Oh, YouTube videos help to plan trips.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, we use YouTube videos to plan trips too. We like to, if we're planning a trip to somewhere, we like to pull up YouTube videos to see like, the type of terrain that we might expect and the type of
mhm.
views and things like that. So, yeah,
Right.
if you're looking for a place to go that's around the general Ohio area, we've probably made a video somewhere on it, or at least near it.
Well, last year I had plans to go to Big South Fork, so I
Hmm.
watched your video for that.
Oh yeah.
And I think I watched someone else's too, but then we ended up changing our plans because of weather, and we ended up in the
Yeah.
Smoky Mountains. But yeah,
How was
definitely
your Smoky Mountain trip?
fast.
Fast?
We only planned out in 3 days and mostly driving, so it was really just one night up there. But it
Oh,
was in April, and after a long winter up here up north, we were ready to just go for a quick trip. We didn't even care if it was just a one nighter up there. But
yeah.
It felt really nice just to go down and see actually green grass rather than snow on the ground.
That's true. I can relate to that.
Okay, I know I'm way behind on comments. Okay, we just got some here. It's from Flight 001 is from Lower Michigan. Yes, and there's that Nordhaus Dunes was another nice area. You guys did a trip,
Yeah.
New Year's trip that was.
Yeah, Andrew actually kind of brainstormed that trip to do a winter New Year's trip there, and at first we thought like that's dumb. Why would you go to the sand dunes in the middle of winter? But it actually turned out to be a very enjoyable trip. I think partially just due to the experience of being able to share that on New Year's with Andrew and Robbie and
Right.
I can't remember if Thomas is there now.
I think he was.
I think he was. Yes.
Yeah.
And partially just because I lost my train of thought. Oh well, it just turned out to be one of my more favorite episodes. I think because it kind of started out a little rocky with like the ice rain and everything, but
Right.
then in the end it was like snowy and
That
beautiful.
snow. That was
Yeah.
beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember Andrew contacted me. He was trying to figure out plan a trip in Michigan. And
Mm-hmm.
we're looking at a lot of different areas, and that ended up being the best one. And it turned out to be a great trip and very, very good video. So
yeah, I mean, Uptrail has been a resource for us, and when it comes to planning a lot of trips in Michigan, I know I talked to him extensively about Porcupine Mountains, and we were looking at trails, but unfortunately that still hasn't happened. But we'll make that happen.
Right, at least it's a trip you haven't done yet, and then
Right.
it's on the table, and someday,
Yeah, we've got the information. We've got like once it's in our brain,
Right.
it's gonna happen.
Then I got to try to find time off. I know you and Robbie, I believe, right, did the Picture Rocks hike, the 42 miles.
Yeah.
I wanted to meet up with you guys, but I had to work that week there, and I couldn't get the time off. But that was a fun video to watch.
Oh man, that trip was definitely was an experience, and I plan on going back and doing that maybe next year. So next year around Labor Day weekend, let's try and meet up again.
Definitely, we'll try that.
The plan is hopefully me and Nicole. Andrew said he was willing to come. I'm sure Robbie will come too if he's available. So
right,
it'll be a larger group that time.
Carlson Ventures, he said he's heading back up to Picture Rocks to do a trail again this coming June. What, you'll like it.
Yeah.
If he's already been there, he knows he'll already like it.
That's true. I don't know how the bugs are in June. I've always tried to avoid the summer months.
Yeah, usually early June it's okay yet if you go like the first week of June, but after that the bugs are pretty bad usually until September.
Okay. I know when me and Robbie hiked, it was Labor Day, like the Labor Day week, so
Right.
like September. But there was one stretch, like a couple miles, where you're walking on a boardwalk and it's through like this really marshy area, and the mosquitoes just went to town on us.
Yeah, you will get a few sections like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have a question for you, actually.
Sure.
So we were talking about our hammocks, and I know you've used hammocks pretty much exclusively
since 2015.
Right. So what do you do when you come to a campsite and you just can't set up your hammock? Like,
I have
never planned for that.
No.
Oh, okay.
I've never been in that situation yet. I will just
Really?
search as hard as I can to find some trees, and
Okay.
I've always found one so far. The most difficult place so far Superior Hiking Trail, there was one spot that was very interesting. I mean, these tree branches our trees were only about that big.
Yeah.
And the trees would come in like this.
Right.
I managed to make it work somehow.
Sometimes you make it work. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I've still been like worried about is if we're going to a certain location, I'm like, I wonder if this place is good for hammocks or if it's not. And so like I have to sort of try and plan ahead if I want to bring my hammock or just bring the tent. Because there have been times where I'm like, I don't know if I could have set up a hammock here. But I guess if you've only brought a hammock and you really need it's your only shelter, then you make it work somehow.
You will find a place. Yeah, you find a couple trees about 15 feet apart. And
yeah.
Make it work. Yeah, I know we went out to west to Wyoming. So at the last minute, we just stopped at Walmart. Says, we're probably not, most likely not going to find some trees up in 10,000 feet plus. So we ended up using a tent for that trip.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise it would have been very difficult.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about? I don't know if this is even practical, but just like using camping poles to like prop up the sides of your tents and just have it lay on, or the sides of your hammock and then just like lay it on the ground or something, or would you not do that?
Right. We don't use trekking poles at all, so
oh, okay.
It eliminates that. But you have to find sticks. I thought about already.
Yeah.
So I've had backup plans, but never had to go to that yet.
I've always just thought in the back of my head, like, what do I do if this happens? Well, I guess I'll just like lay in my hammock on the ground like a bivvy bag or something and just deal with it.
Right. In most cases, there's no problems. Maybe if you're like hiking out west, like I say, the desert areas or high mountains, usually that'd be about it.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Jason.
Hey,
Jason. Yeah, we see him on your live streams.
Oh yeah, very familiar name.
I can't wait till we're back with the AA Crew for an Adventure. Yeah, it's hard to believe. What is that? 2017. I think back here. Yeah. Fall 2017, we met up there. Pictured Rocks.
Yeah, so the next one will probably be either another Pictured Rocks or Porcupine Mountains, depending on which one comes first.
Right. Or we could possibly always meet down there sometime in Lower Michigan or Indiana or Ohio, or it could be anywhere.
Have you ever been to the Manitou Islands?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay, that's definitely something I would recommend. So maybe we could try and, because
that would be awesome.
I would never just turn down going to the Manitou Islands again. So yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Somewhere I haven't been to. So
yeah.
Oh, we have Hike with Mike had a question, I believe. Going to make it to Florida for a swamp adventure.
You don't make it sound very appealing. I don't know what our plans are when it comes to Florida. I mean, obviously, we'd love to get out there and go to other places.
Right.
But Florida is definitely a location where it's just like, if you asked us, like, oh, are there any places in Florida you're interested? I'd just like give you a blank stare and be like, I have no idea.
I'd be the same way. I'd be asking Mike because he lives in Florida.
Yeah.
And he loves the swamps.
Yeah. Like when it comes to the West, we've kind of had Thomas, who has been he's kind of been the one who planned out trips to the West. Obviously, we're much more familiar with our kind of general location here. But yeah, once you get past like Kentucky or Tennessee, we're in the dark about what's good down there. So
right.
If you got any recommendations, feel free to let us know.
Right. Let's see. What was that? On a plan in Michigan up trail. Yeah. Just trying to scroll through some comments real quick.
Sure.
Early June wasn't bad for bugs for Carlson Adventures. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. End of May, early June is usually pretty nice. But like I say, once you get around June 10th on, stay away then.
How's like the greenery by that time? By like
it's starting to get green. It's just starting. Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind so that we can get additional trips up there.
Yeah, set up a tarp on the ground.
That's true.
For a hammock, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Big fan of both your channels from Willie Outdoors.
Thank you, Willie. Good to see you.
No, Robbie, he always uses a tent, I believe. I don't remember seeing him in a hammock ever.
No, Robbie and Andrew both don't have hammocks. I've tried to convince them that we should like do an all hammock episode. Right. That hasn't happened yet. But yeah, Robbie's he's grown up on tents, right? And then Andrew has been kind of like, if the weather permits, he'll do his open air tarp. He likes doing that.
Right.
But the comfort of sleep I get in a hammock is just unparalleled. I don't know if I can sacrifice that.
Well, we have another recommendation for you here from Kurt Martin. Check out Pine Mountain, Kentucky. You ever hear of it? I heard of it.
Pine Mountain. I need to write that down.
I believe it's a real extremely nice views around there. I did watch a video from somebody. Can't remember who, but
I'll have to look that up then.
Yeah.
I mean, I like pine forests, so if it's like a pine forest, that's already appealing to me.
Right. Made our way up High Rock Bay this summer. Where's High Rock Bay? I'm not really sure where that is.
Is that in Michigan?
Hmm.
High Rock Bay. Yeah, I haven't heard of that either.
No. North Manitou Island was awesome adventure for us. So Michael Peterson went there. Except for the fear that back in the mind I got to be on time for every ferry. Oh yeah. Did you have any?
I mean, I guess the worst thing is that you have to stay another day.
Right.
But yeah, I think the first time, well, actually both times, we've always been like, okay, we got to make sure we get there early enough, and we always get there
Right.
early, and we sit around for like an hour and a half. So, I think as long as you plan ahead enough and you set up camp close to the end, you should be good. But yeah.
Right. Same thing on Grand Island up by Pictured Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 21-mile loop around it. And whatever the last ferry is at the night, you want to make sure you're there. Otherwise, like you say, you spend another night.
Yeah.
That was a nice hike there, too. It was a lot of old logging roads or whatever, so it's not much for trail hiking. So, but it was a nice island to hike around.
Yeah, I wonder if Grand Island is somewhat similar, like in Field and North Manitou, or I guess North Manitou probably is more natural because you said there's
so.
logging. Yeah,
right. I think it would be. Now on Grand Island up there by Picture Rocks, they say there's more bear on that island per square mile than anywhere in Michigan.
On Grand Island, really?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
We didn't see any, but we saw plenty of signs of bear north of Copper Harbor. That's where that. One place we was talking about High Rock, yeah. We got Willie Outdoors. Then you guys done Isle Royal? No, I have not done Isle Royal yet.
That's surprising to me, actually. We've been recommended Isle Royale probably since Adventure Archives has started,
Right.
and we still haven't gone. It's another one of those places that I feel like is like Porcupine, where it's
a long drive.
Yeah, I don't know if flying is practical for that one, because once you start worrying about flying, you have to worry about renting a car and this and that. So,
right.
But actually, Nicole, on our live stream the other day, she actually recently went to Isle Royale. So I'm thinking if we do go, we'll probably bring her along, kind of
because she'll know already.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I can have her help me plan it.
We almost went last summer here, but then we decided to go Cumberland Gap. I loved it there. Cumberland Gap was excellent. Yeah.
I think one point we were discussing Cumberland Gap. I don't the trail that we did, the Big South Fork. I don't know if that's anywhere near that. No, I think they said it was different.
It's not far from there.
Okay.
It's in the same general area.
That's what I figured.
Cumberland Gap borders Virginia, Tennessee, and Kentucky, all right within the same area.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But would you say that it's a similar type of trail to Big South Fork?
It's more like the Smoky Mountains, I think.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not quite as high as the Smokies, but it's similar to it. We didn't see anybody. We went there and it's only us, nobody else we saw. So it was very peaceful.
Oh, okay. I'm sure we'll end up doing Cumberland Gap at some point.
Right. And now I know what trails, it helps too.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Hiking Mike again here. I know he wants to get you down there. Bears. I always carry bear spray. I never carry bear spray ever. It's not a bad idea. You'd rather deal with alligators over bears.
We do carry our bear spray whenever we go into bear country, I guess. You could, but we haven't run into any yet, knock on wood. And hopefully it stays that way. But yeah, I feel like a bear encounter is one of those things where until you actually in one, you really don't know how you would react to it.
Right. I've seen a few hiking. I'm at Superior Hiking Trail as night hiking. It was my 29-mile day I did.
Oh, wow.
And I still had about 2 miles to the campsite, and I had a bear right in front of me on the trail standing there, and he ran into the woods.
Oh, well,
so
what kind of bear was it?
A black bear. It was good size.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I had a pack of coyotes at my campsite another night. I was the only one at the campsite. There's there's about 5 or 6 coyotes, and they were right in my campsite. I had my headlamp looking at them, and then they ran away. And then next morning I seen pieces of a rabbit on the ground, so that's what they were after.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the typical thing is animals are going to run away from you, but that's why they always advise people at like the major parks don't feed them or don't leave
Right.
food out, because then the animals don't become scared of you, and that's when they're dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Try to catch a few more comments.
Hmm?
Oh yeah, Carlson Adventures. He always enjoys seeing your different foods you bring, like we mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah.
What's the most interesting food you ever brought?
We've done a lot of interesting things. I think I would have to say it's probably the hot pot that we did in Seneca Creek.
Okay.
Because we had to lug
I remember that one.
the stove. Yeah, and we had like all these different types of ingredients. But I think in terms of interesting, that one definitely had the most variety and the most planning.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember that trip as your winter one.
Yeah.
Any suggestions for the Autrain area? I have never hiked in that area.
Autrain, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of like up in the Picture Rocks area.
Yeah, I know that there's the Au Sable campsite in Picture
Right.
Rocks. So I was just wondering if that was maybe like similar or close, somewhat like that or something.
Yeah, it's just in a general area. I believe that's on
Okay.
the western side of Picture Rocks, I believe. I just have not hiked in that area. Marquette, I've never hiked up there yet, except for that one mountain I climbed up there. They call it a mountain. It's about 600 feet over the lake level. For Michigan, mountains are small.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true. But you guys have so much good hiking up there.
It is, and Lake Superior is beautiful.
Yeah,
and cold. You guys, did you all jump in the water? I think so, right?
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
I'm not big on jumping into the water, just because like for some reason the thought of the hassle of having to dry up and
right.
cold is just not worth it for me.
Right. Kurt Martin had his first bear encounter at Pictured Rocks this year. Okay, yes, I did hear they did have bear around Pictured Rocks this year.
I didn't even know that bears were really a thing in Pictured Rocks that much.
Yeah, they've always been around there.
Yeah.
You just don't hear about it a lot.
Yeah.
But of course, there's a lot more people out now.
That's true. Yeah.
Hiker Mike, what was your thoughts on visiting Walden Pond? Is on my bucket list too. I wish there was less developed in that area though.
In our video, we visited Walden Pond. I think this would probably be a question better directed towards Andrew, because he's like a big fan of Thoreau. But I think the first reaction I had to it was, yeah, I could see why someone would want to live next to this lake. It was very peaceful. It was very, you really did feel like connected with nature out there. I suppose I wish it was less developed in that area. Yeah. I guess that's just really something you can't avoid at this point. But I still think it's definitely worth it to go out there and just enjoy the calmness and the relaxation that it has to offer.
Now, where is this at?
Walden Pond. So let me double check before I. But it was on our road trip, so it's in Massachusetts. Okay. After we went through New York, we stopped by Walden Pond for a few hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. I was like, I don't remember a video with that name in it.
Yeah.
I haven't missed any of your videos, so.
Yeah, it was kind of like the second half of the Niagara video.
Hey, Carlson Adventures says he's at Benchmark campsite, Picture Rocks. He had a bear come into the camp in the early morning. Just walked right by. Yeah, most of them, that's what they usually do, unless they're after some food somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like I said earlier. It's weird for me to picture a bear at Pictured Rocks just because you see so many people there, and I feel like they're all kind of casually hiking there. You just don't expect that there would be bear there, but
Right.
it makes sense that there are.
Question for both of you. What was one of your favorite scenic views that you've ever seen on one of your trips?
I'll let you go first with this one.
Oh, I have to go look for some pictures here. I think when we were out in Wyoming, I just loved it up in the mountains there. Misty, what was that lake called? Misty Moon Lake, I think. Up by Cloud Peak. Yeah, I don't even know where all my pictures are here.
Yeah, Wyoming is definitely a place like that whole area. I would love to go do trips there.
And how about for you?
Um,
That was one of the pictures in Wyoming there. My wife,
Oh,
there's a
wow.
moose down to lefty if you can see it.
Oh, yeah, I do see it.
This was at our campsite. I think that might be possibly the only picture I have on this. There's a picture of us here, a Pictured Rocks.
Oh, yeah.
That's a screenshot. Screenshot from your video.
Doing the epic pose.
Right.
Yeah. Man, the colors were a lot more vibrant than I remembered them being. I think that was
right.
Yeah, we caught it at a good time.
Right.
And speaking of Pictured Rocks, I would have to say, in terms of favorite scenic views, Pictured Rocks is way up there.
Right.
Another place that comes to mind is I think they're called the Alabama Foothills. It was on our road trip, and it's like it's at the base of where Mount Whitney is. We stayed one night there, and the view, like the night sky and the views there, were just really unique and really awesome. Oh, and Monument Valley. There's a lot. Monument Valley was also an amazing area.
Right, that view in Japan there. We're up on that mountain.
Yeah,
remember,
that too.
You're looking at there's another mountain in the background.
That was Mount Fuji. Yeah.
You had that sunset or the sunrise. It was really amazing.
It was the sunrise, and you could see like the clouds were like kind of passing over the top. Yeah, there's so many views that like once I think of one, somebody mentions another, and it's like, oh, that one was good too, and then that one. So
right, that was an excellent video. I really enjoyed that one.
That trip was definitely one of those trips where it was like eye-opening and life-changing, I would say.
Well, Hiker Mike said I guess I'm the only one that ran into an angry bear. Laugh out loud.
I hope to not I hope not to run into an angry bear.
Right.
If I run into any bears, I want them to be nice and calm and just kind of walk away.
And Kurt Martin asked if you had any concerns about camping in Grizzly country while in Yellowstone.
So I mean, they're very careful with like making sure people are aware, being bear aware and safe, and because of that, they provide very good campsites when it comes to you camp here, you eat here, and you hang your bags over here. It wasn't like you had to go and like find a tree to hang something up on. They provided all that stuff, so I felt safe because of the fact that it was very easy to follow the bear aware protocol.
Right.
So when I was in Yellowstone, no, I didn't really feel concerned. But I mean, that could always change. If I do have a bear encounter, I will. If I do have a bear encounter and I went back to Yellowstone, I probably would be nervous. Just kind of like how after we flipped our canoe in Manistee, the next time I got it, I was really nervous.
Did they require beer canisters or not? Or did you hang it?
They did. Well,
they did?
I don't know if they required them, but they do have like bear canister rentals, like stands where you can rent bear canisters. So we did rent them, obviously, because better to not leave things to chance. Yeah. But they did require us to watch like a bear safety video since we were backpacking.
Right. In Yosemite, there was another area. I really liked that video.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always Yosemite. I was actually probably a little more nervous because when we were when we were talking to the ranger about that one, he specifically was like, "Oh yeah, we have had some active bears up in this area where you're camping." I'm like,
Right.
"Oh, well, that's good to know." But we didn't run into anything, and we didn't like see any evidence of like bears trying to get out of food canisters or anything like that. So,
I know Cumberland Gap. I still have them on Facebook, and I see they closed some campsites there because of bear activity.
oh
So I
yeah,
don't know what happened, but I think there's 2 or 3 they closed.
yeah, I don't know what exactly entails them with like the requirements for them to close the campsite because of bear activity. It's probably just they see the bear and they're like, okay, better not have people go there with food and stuff to make it any worse.
Right. Carlson Adventures asked any plans to hike Indiana this year. I suppose you never know where you're gonna hike sometimes.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, Indiana is where is right next to us, so there's always a chance, right? Because it could just be let's go hike somewhere in Indiana.
Then
But
Illinois has another nice little area that's not far from Indiana. Shawano, or I can't remember the name of the forest down there, but I've seen a few videos.
We did do a Shawnee Forest. I didn't know if that was in Illinois or if that was in Kentucky.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of places named Shawnee.
You're right. I believe it's southern Illinois, though. There's another area.
It could have been that then.
Unless it's more for day hiking. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah. I know at one point we were looking at places in Illinois and we weren't really sure like what was like a place to go in Illinois because it looks like there isn't really much like in terms of parks. At least, like you look at some places like Kentucky and West Virginia, you see masses of green.
They're all over.
Yeah, and you're like, well, let's go there.
Right. Garden State of Gods, Illinois.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've heard that before.
Okay. Yeah, I think that we caught up on questions here. So, any last minute questions for Bryan? Because I know you got your premiere video coming up here in about 3 minutes.
Actually, an hour.
It's an hour?
We got an hour, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, if we want to talk a little more, that's fine with me.
Yeah, and you had part 1. We out to Niagara Falls. You had a nice little thunderstorm and some rain.
Yeah, that was definitely an experience. And then our upcoming part is going to be Acadia. We hike a mountain, or we climb a mountain in Acadia National Park. Hike/climb,
right.
And we explore other parts of Acadia too. And then I think this is the one where we goof around, and so we rented a little cottage in Bangor, Maine. And I think we were goofing around in there. We were, just hanging out and playing VR and stuff. So there's a lot of goofiness in that video too.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah,
you'll see me in the chats.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we have our last question. Any last questions that you have, or?
I mean, I'm just curious how you've been, because I know the last time we talked really was when we were planning Porcupine.
Right.
Have you done any really good trips since then?
Not really. I mean, I can't even think of where we went last. I think we went to Pictured Rocks last time. We had it was very windy out. It rained, and we slept in a tent. We actually relived a trip from many years ago. I'm guessing almost 10 years ago, I think it was.
Was there a particular reason you opted for the tent?
Just reliving a trip, because kind of what we did. We did exact same hiking route, and we just want to do something a little different. As you can see, it was a windy day.
Yeah, definitely looks like it. The water looks really nice though, nice and blue.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. Yes, that's something about Pictured Rocks. The water, it looks like the ocean almost.
You guys have the good Great Lakes. Down in Ohio, we have the crummy Great Lakes.
Well, you get to Porcupine Mountains, you notice the water looks a little different because there's iron ore around there. And if you get a lot of wave action, it'll mix up a lot of iron ore and it'll make a reddish brown color. The water around there, it's not as pretty. It's nice.
Yeah.
But Pictured Rocks is like a lot more sand and the rocks. So.
Are you allowed to, or is it not recommended to pump water when you're up by Porcupine? Or
I take it out of the lake all the time. But if it's really a lot of waves, And it gets kind of murky looking. There's plenty of streams around there. I take it out of a stream then.
Yeah, I would say if you're hiking around a mountain area, probably not too hard to find a stream or two.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I get back on our comments here. Okay, I think that's just about it. And I'll let you get ready for your premiere here in a few minutes, or hour, they actually said it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we were still debating on the thumbnails and titles, so we need to figure that out.
Oh, I have one last question here about Andrew.
Sure.
Whatever got him started into, being interested in plants and all of that, plants and vegetation, all that kind of stuff, trees?
So basically when he was in basically he was in college, and he was, when he was doing his studying, it was just like really like overbearing sometimes, so he tried to find like a side hobby to do, and he just started looking up things on the ODNR to kind of like learn plants and trees, and over time he just grew to know more and more about it, and he got my dad into it, and I think just because my dad got so into it, they kind of like their mutual interests kind of like pushed each other to learn more about it. And that's the same goes for mushrooms. He started looking at mushrooms, and then my dad is like now hardcore into mushrooms, and he's teaching me about mushrooms too. So
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So your dad really got into that.
Yeah. He's really into that. So I think it just kind of like, the little side interest just kind of like spread around us, and we all kind of like fueled each other's interest in that.
No, has your dad ever been in a video?
One video. We did a weird food tasting video where we had him try some mushrooms and things like that. I'm pretty sure he was in one of those. We had him try like chanterelle mushrooms, and then milkweed pods, which don't sound appetizing, but they're not too. If you get them at the right time, they're kind of like okra. So if you like okra, then you might like those. Yeah.
Hooks and Hammocks is on here. I believe they're from Indiana.
Oh, cool. Okay. Another big, obviously from the channel name, a big hammock channel.
Right. And I know they like to do a lot of fishing. Well, hooks.
Oh, okay. That's what the hooks are for. Yeah. Fishing is something that I would like to do in a video someday. But like a lot of things that someone may be new to, it's a bit daunting to look at the kind of gear you need and permits and things like that.
Right.
But eventually I think you might see us do some fishing in the video. It may not be great fishing. We may be really bad at it, but we'll give it another shot.
Porcupine Mountains, you can fish there.
Really?
You can also rent cabins. I think we talked about that once.
I think when we were talking about it last time, I was asking about like the cabins, and you said some of them you had to rent and things like that. That would be cool. That would be cool to like hike for a day and then stay at a cabin for a night. Yeah, and then fish for a day. Do you do fishing?
I live next to a lake. Not a whole lot. I do some fishing, but I live about 300 feet from the lake.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's something we'll have to discuss then when Porcupine Mountains happens.
Right. Oh, we still got a couple more. They're chiming in here. D-Rock Outdoors. Hello, welcome to the show here. We're almost done. That hiking guy Chris, another Indiana. And Robbie lives in Indiana.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot more hiking and backpacking interest in Indiana than I realized.
Right.
I guess we should do another video there.
Now, where's Thomas living right now?
Thomas is in Texas.
Texas, that's right.
That's where he's living. He's currently in Ohio for the holidays. So you might see him like we might try and record a podcast or something, so you may see him there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's about it for tonight. I have to get you guys, all three of you or four of you, maybe someday on the show.
Definitely, yeah.
Kurt Martin, also like Indiana.
Well, it looks like your main audience is in Indiana there.
I think so.
Yeah.
Come on, see us, Bryan. They all want you to go to Indiana. But
all right then. Well, since
right.
Robbie lives there, it makes it easy.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show. I know you're
Yeah.
getting ready for yours, and we'll hopefully can get some more of the guys on here, Andrew and Robbie, maybe someday here. And
yeah, definitely. Next time you want to do another one, you can let me know, and I'll just communicate with the other guys, and we can
right,
get one
we
where
can
we're
always
all
do a
on.
test. We can always do a test stream, just not live, and have fun.
And we could do the same too. If we do like a podcast, we can get you on.
Oh
there
yeah,
too.
definite.
Yeah.
Okay, Willie said happy holidays, guys. Jason
Happy
said
holidays.
take care, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. All thanks. Same to you. Hooks and hammocks. We can take them fishing. Oh yeah, they would definitely know how to do some fishing.
That's for sure. Yeah, we need some pros to show me how to fish.
All right, I'm going to end the stream in a few seconds, but just stay on for a couple more minutes, and I'll talk to you, and then we'll see you in another future show. Thanks for everyone
Thanks for having
watching.
me on.
Yeah.